Hi, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. If you've never joined me before, I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So we go live, or I go live periodically, pretty often actually. And if you like our page on Facebook, or if you want to follow us on TikTok, you'll be notified right away every single time I go live, and you can ask your immigration questions. So that is what this whole period of time that I'm on here is set up for, is for me to be able to answer your immigration questions. Okay, so we'll start off with our question for the day, and then I'll go ahead and take some questions from you who are watching right now. So we're streaming on multiple platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook. So the questions will be coming from kind of all over. Thanks for joining, and go ahead and put your immigration questions in, and I will get to them today. All right, great. Again, if you're just joining, thank you and welcome. If you're just joining, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm based outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. However, our clients are all throughout the United States. We as a firm practice all types of immigration. So humanitarian cases, family-based cases where you're sponsoring family members, and also employment-based cases. So if you're on an H-1B and you have questions, if you are interested in employment-based sponsorship, so an employer sponsoring you, we can help you with that as well. So feel free to reach out to us for a confidential consultation. We are at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. So my question that I wanted to bring up today that comes up in our practice that I think many people would be interested in is what kind of abuse requirement, let me go back. What type of proof is required to show that I was abused in my marriage in order for me to self-petition? What type of proof is required to show abuse in a VAWA self-petition? For those of you that are unfamiliar with VAWA, VAWA is a way to obtain a green card if you are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and you are in an abusive relationship. This does not necessarily have to be physical abuse. It can be emotional abuse. It can take many different forms. And the question again is, what type of proof, what type of evidence do I need to show I was a victim of abuse? If it's physical abuse, of course, there might be police reports, there might be witnesses and witness statements, right? If it's not physical abuse, if it's emotional abuse, you can still show this by your statement. Your statement, our firm will talk with you, we'll ask you questions to prompt you to give us truthful answers, and we will help you draft and formulate a statement to show that you are a victim of abuse. So that is the bulk of the proof that is required. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and they are not going to sponsor you for their green card, right? If they're not going to sponsor you for their green card, then you can still have an option. You might still have an option if you are suffering from emotional abuse or psychological abuse. All right, call us for a consultation. We are at 703-348-1663. Again, that's 703-348-1663. Thanks. So many people are joining us today. Hi, Nathan. Nathan says, do you have an update on the new amnesty bill? There is nothing new to report at this point. When there is an update, please follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok, and you'll receive updates. We'll post about updates, and we will inform you then about who is eligible and what types of benefits are available. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok. We are at Agarwal Immigration on both platforms. Mandy is asking, can you say if babysitters are essential workers? Well, call us for a consultation. It depends on the visa type, right? So it depends on the visa type that you have. And you might be able to qualify for only some people. So certain countries are banned from entering. So citizens of certain countries are banned from entering right now just because of the pandemic. But there are certain exceptions to that. So if you have a certain work visa, you might be able to qualify as for this exception and enter the US, even though there is kind of a ban on entry because of the pandemic. All right, call us for a consultation if you have questions about your employment-based visa, about your ability to travel in and out of the country. We can certainly help you figure out what is best. Again, we practice immigration law only. We do not practice anything other than immigration law. And I'd be able to answer most of your questions. So schedule a consultation with us if you believe, if you have an immigration question and you want kind of one-on-one time with me. All right, we're at 703-348-1663. Weisei is saying, how can you show that you live together for VAWA if all the bills and documents were in their name? That's a really good question. So the question again is, how can you show that you live together for a VAWA self-petition if all of the documents were in the other person's name? So this happens very, very often in VAWA cases. You have to show that you live together, but oftentimes all of the documents all of the bills, the bank statements are in the US citizen or green card holder's name, partly because you don't have status, but partly as a result of the abuse. So this is very, very common. So what we could do is take a statement from you. We would produce whatever you have. If you have something mail coming to your home with your name on it, and the address, and then we can find some other mail coming to your home with your spouse's name. That might be helpful. Other things are statements from people that have been to your house that are willing to write up a letter saying that they came to your house, they saw that you lived together, this is the description of the place. And then the other very strong piece of evidence could be your own statement describing the place, making a statement for how long you lived together, from which period to which period, daily routines, things that you would only know if you lived with that person, right? So those types of things, your own statement with details can be helpful. And again, this is very common in these types of cases where you're a victim of abuse, you're married to a US citizen or a green card holder. It's hard to prove that you live together, but together we can brainstorm ways where you can make that demonstration, where we can produce enough evidence to qualify you for that green card on your own without your spouse. You would get a work permit in about 6 months once after we apply. 6 to 8 months after we apply, and a green card usually about 2 to 2.5 years. All right, give us a call if you have any questions. If you found yourself in this situation, there is an option, and certainly reach out and get that help that you need, get yourself in status, and we can certainly hold your hand through this process. Okay, again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I only practice immigration law. I'm an immigration attorney based right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, but we help clients all throughout the United States, and you can call for a consultation, 703-348-1663. All right, I'm getting some other questions about essential workers. It depends on your visa type, so give us a call. We're at 703-348-1663. Wow, we have several questions about essential. There's lots of people that are considered essential workers, so give us a call. All right. Someone is Naila Shaktor. Thank you for joining. She's asking, or he's asking, I haven't received it, waited in processing. So there's a way. There is a way to speed up your processing times. Okay. Hi Mo, how are you? There is a way to speed up your processing times. So I would recommend several different steps. All right, I would recommend several different steps to be able to get your case to move faster. So call us for consultation, number one, because again, we want to see what's already happened in your case, what the normal processing times are in your case. We want to see if the first thing to do is make an inquiry. Is that something that we should try? So call us first for a consultation, 703-348-1663. But what I would recommend is first reaching out to USCIS to see if they can provide information about your case. Next, reach out to your state representatives. Can they help, right? And again, keep a log of all your efforts to contact people, to keep a log of your efforts to move the case along. And then the last step, if none of this works, is to sue the government. So you can sue the government because they're taking an unreasonable amount of time to process your case. So that is an option as well. So we can certainly help you through this whole process. Give us a call. if you'd like for our firm to work with you on this. Again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal, and I only practice U.S. immigration law. All right, we're at 703-348-1663. Vice is asking, any tips for a green card interview? So, oh, great. Yeah, tips for a green card interview. Number one, arrive on time, right? Arrive on time. Make sure you are there. At least I would say half hour before your appointment. They tell you they won't let you in the building until about 15 minutes before. Take your full application and be familiar with your full application before you go into the interview. If you have any kind of problematic issues, if you've been outside the US for a long time, if you entered illegally, if there are some issues like with your name, if there's anything problematic, you want to be able to make sure you answer in a way that is completely truthful, but also you want to answer in a way to increase your chances of approval and cause fewer problems, right? So the tendency for people to do is to just provide as many details as possible, and you might just kind of talk yourself into a trap at that point. So what you should do is answer completely and truthfully, and work with an attorney. If there are some complications in your green card application, we can advise you best. All right. Also, take original documents of everything that you've submitted before. So your marriage certificate, your birth certificate. You may not be asked for this, but it is highly, highly recommended. Okay. If you're doing a family-based green card application, you might also consider bringing updated information on, let's say, your tax return, for example. If it's taken a year to process, you have a new tax return, you might want to take that with you as well. All right. Also, make sure that you take your medical exam packet, your sealed medical exam packet, if you haven't already submitted it. So give us a call. We do a lot of green cards. We can certainly walk you through what to take, any kind of problematic issues. We can talk with you at a consultation to see how best to respond, if a waiver is available, if that should be something that you take with you. All right. And of course, we also go to green card interviews. If you need representation at a green card interview, it's always best to have an attorney with you to help guide you through that process. Okay. We are at 703-348-1663. Call us for a consultation. We're doing them by phone or by Zoom, just based on your preference. So it doesn't matter where you are located. And in some cases, for people that want to come and see me here in Arlington, Virginia, you're welcome to do that. We're doing in-person consultations now as well. All right. Gary says, I was applied for a marriage-based work permit, marriage abuse work permit about 12 months ago, but I'm still waiting. So what do I do, please? Well, Gary, it should not be taking that long. It's not taking that long for us. So maybe there was an issue with your initial application, right? So you want to find out, number one, if you're getting all of the correspondence from the government. If it's going to a different address, you might want to double check and make sure they have your correct address and that you are receiving all the correspondence for your case. So work permits on marriage-based, on abuse, on green card applications based on abuse are taking about 6 to 8 months. So basically for people that are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and they're a victim of abuse, it could be any type of abuse, not just physical, other types of abuse will count as well. You would apply for a green card. You would receive usually a work permit in about 6 to 8 months and a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. Okay, so that is the normal timeline. That is the timeline that our firm is seeing, sometimes actually even faster than 6 to 8 months. So if you think that it's taking 12 months, it's taking too long, there is probably an issue. There's probably something happening. So call us and we can figure out what's going on with your case. We can submit an inquiry and move forward with that. Okay. Again, you can reach us at 703-348-1663. All right. Mohammed saying, I don't have a criminal record. I got a stamp on my passport. What are the restrictions on travel? Usually you can't travel for more than 6 months out of the country. All right. But call us. You might have a different situation. So you want to make sure that that's the correct advice for you. All right. All right. Hi, Mohammed. Nice to see you. Okay. I think we have most of our questions answered. Another question that's popped up is, I'm divorced. Can I still apply for a VAWA self-petition? I'm divorced from a U.S. citizen. Can I still apply for a VAWA self-petition? So if you are divorced, if your divorce is less than 2 years, right? If your divorce is less than 2 years from the time that you apply, if you were married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you might still be able to apply for a green card on your own. So again, once that application is filed, about 6 to 8 months, you would get a work permit, travel authorization, and then a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years, and this would be a 10-year green card. Okay, give us a call if you have any questions. I would love to speak with you and do a consultation with you. We're doing them again by phone or by Zoom or in person. It's wonderful to see everybody. Hi, Sabis. It's wonderful to see everyone. I hope to see you soon. Join me again for our immigration Q&A, our live, where I can answer your immigration questions. Those one-off immigration questions, this is a great opportunity to do that. If you would like to call our firm and talk with me one-on-one, we, again, everything, talk with me one-on-one. Again, everything is, I want to answer this one question here, and I will before I log off. You can do that. So we're doing consultations by phone or by Zoom. Okay, 703-348-1663. We have a question here. It says, I have an abusive spouse, but I don't want to leave my kids. I have an abusive spouse, but I don't want to leave my kids. This is a very, very common question. So one of the things that people believe, if you apply for a green card on your own, that you have to go and get divorced, right? If you're in an abusive situation, that might be best for you. But it is not a requirement. You do not have to leave that household until you are ready to do so. So do not let that prevent you from applying for a green card for yourself. If you are in an abusive situation, you don't necessarily have to, there's no requirement that you have to go and get divorced. Okay, it might be best for you. You might decide once you have status that you can live on your own, that you might not want to, but it is not a requirement. So give us a call if you think that you want to move forward with applying for a green card on your own, even if your spouse is abusive and you're not ready yet. If you're still married and you don't have any plans of getting divorced right now, you can give us a call. We can still help you with a self-petition. So again, you get a work permit, social security number in about 6 to 8 months, and a green card 2 to 2.5 years. Okay, call us for a consultation, 703-348-1663. Sorry, so a question here. My husband withdrew the I-130. Husband withdrew the I-130, and the spouse has a visitor's visa. She's here on a visitor's visa. What can we do? If you live together with your spouse, right? If you're on a visitor's visa, your husband filed for your green card, then withdrew it. If there was abuse in your marriage, so again, does not have to be physical abuse. It can be emotional abuse. If there's abuse in your marriage, if you're having problems in your marriage, if you're feeling bad, if your spouse is verbally abusive, says negative things to you, you might qualify to apply for this green card on your own. So if you're married and you live together with your spouse, call us to see if you might be eligible to apply for this green card on your own. You might not need your spouse to apply for you, okay? Again, you get a work permit while the application is pending. It usually comes in about 6 to 8 months, and a green card 2 to 2.5 years. All right, you can call us for a consultation, 703-348-1663. Mohammed is saying, I'm waiting for a green card replacement. If I'm divorced, would I be eligible for citizenship? So if you have a marriage-based green card, you would still be eligible for citizenship. You might get divorced. You don't have to stay married forever. But if you entered into a marriage, you received a marriage-based green card, and depending on whether you are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, you only have to be a green card holder for 3 years before you're eligible for citizenship. And if you're married to a green card holder, or if you're married to a green card holder, you would have to be a green card holder for 5 years before you're eligible for citizenship. Okay, so you don't have to stay married if you got your green card that way. You don't have to be married still to move forward with citizenship. However, make sure there's no issues of fraud, right? So your marriage, hopefully, your marriage should be a bona fide marriage that was entered into in good faith. Okay. My Joelle said, the husband didn't come to the airport for pickup. Okay, but if you were still married, if we can show that you live together, you might be eligible to apply on your own for a green card. So you may, give us a call. We can see what your situation is, and if we can schedule a consultation, we can dive into the details and see how you would be eligible. Okay? All right. Thank you. Hi, Jesse. Nice to see you. Hi, Busrock. Thanks everyone for joining. I am going to log off for the day. It's nice to see everyone. I love answering your questions. If you want to call our office, give us a call 703-348-1663. We can have a one-on-one consultation. I'd be happy to answer all of your questions and go through your whole case and talk to you more. All right. Have a good evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.